cabin of my new purchase on a very loose mag mount. So if you fall off, fair warning. This is if you haven't guessed it, an MX-5, and I couldn't have picked a more random car. So you might have known I had my Escort up for sale, and I was really quite in two minds about what it was worth, because COVID has had a lot of negative effect on the market recently, because they went up, but now they've kind of come down. But it's hard to understand by how much, and not everyone understands how much they've come down, and blah blah blah. So just shut these windows. So first I put it up for 3 1/4, but then a couple of people were like, it's unrealistic. Got a flying answer coming out in this heat. So I put it down to 2 3/4, 2,750, and it's not that it got more bites. It just, I don't know, it was just only offers I was getting. I was getting swap offers with like, one of them was a DS3 and a bloody, like a drift car. It's like, I would have accepted a Fiesta SI, or I would have accepted a Sierra, but then randomly on Saturday, Friday night, it's now Sunday, the following Sunday, someone was like, I got a supercharged MX-5, here's a couple of pictures. And I thought, I don't like MX-5s, but I am more intrigued about Japanese cars lately since getting the GTO. And I thought, you know what, if I wanted to sell that MX-5, it'd be a lot easier to sell than the Escort, because the Escort's bodywork was quite tatty. Although it was A-OK underneath, it was quite tatty, and I thought, you know what, if you're mad enough to swap, yeah, hell with it, let's do it. So he said quite quickly he wanted to meet up. So we went today. That's not a bloody flying ant, that's a horsefly, get out of here. So we met up. He was a bit put off by the temperature gauge will always shoot to max because it's the wrong sensor for the ECU. So in the end, a bit of cash his way, and he done a deal. So now I'm the owner of a supercharged Mark II 1.8 MX-5. It's got an M45 Eaton off a R53 Mini, typical. It goes well. I had a good strong dabble with I caught up with a guy afterwards, a standard Mark II Focus ST. He said he's only got an exhaust on it, so it's around 230 if you're lucky, and he couldn't shake it. The owner reckons it was 200 horsepower. This, I mean, and I believe him. It goes well. It's not quite as quick as what I'm used to, but you can tell it's not far off. It goes well. It's quite a swap. Quite happy. A couple of things that bother me. The throw on this gear shifter is ridiculously short. It's shorter than that stick. Handbrakes, absolute pants. You got to pull it halfway up before it even does anything. One of the springs is either not seated right, or they need helper springs, because you go over the bump, and God, what a clang. And I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a funny squeak at the back, so that needs a look at. I'm not quite happy with how heavy the throttle is. It uses two throttle bodies, one for the supercharger and one for the actual intake. And I'll put a picture up. The throttle, the intake and the supercharger aren't on the same side, they're separate. Most people would have bolted a supercharger to the plenum, but the guys who've done it a bit wacky, if I'm honest. Not how I've seen it done. They've set it up more like a compound setup. I was half expecting a small turbo to be under there somewhere alongside of it. Other than that, I haven't got any plans. I don't even know why I got it for, let alone what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to play around with it and enjoy it for a bit, to be honest. I don't think there's much to do cosmetically. It's in far better condition than the Escort was, to be fair to it. and it just needs that bit of work now to bring it up mechanically, which I'm more than happy to do. Even if that clunking spring isn't actually a knackered upright or something, you know, I'm still winning if I just change the suspension over. Yeah, so I'll chuck some pictures up as I'm talking, but expect more content soon, and maybe some skits.